Okay, good morning. We're here for our weekly Marion County Board of Commissioners meeting. It is Wednesday, January 20th. It's 9 a.m. We're here in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Port Street Northeast. And as always, we will start our morning with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I thought I would just add a little something to our calendar today, and it's a day that the democracy in the United States of America passes on through a ceremony that some of us just witnessed. I didn't get a chance to see it, but that we have a new president of the United States, and I just thought we would take a moment of silence and pray for our country and before we do our work today. So if you'll join me in that. Amen. So today we have nobody signed up for public comment. We have our first and only presentation from our fantastic health department. Katrina Rothenberger is here today, and somebody said out loud just a minute ago that the numbers are going down.
Yay.
Welcome.
Thank you. Katrina Rothenberger, I'm the Public Health Division Director for Marion County Health and Human Services. And for today, January 20th, we do have 16,394 cases since the beginning of the pandemic, but as you mentioned, Commissioner Cameron, the cases have been declining. And since December 31st, we saw a 15% decline in our COVID-19 cases, which is great. And we also looked at our testing rate during that same time period, and it also, our testing rate, the number of tests that we did actually increased. So we went from 9,000 tests during the period of December 27th through January 13th, and then, I'm sorry, I messed up my dates here. In the previous 2 weeks, we went from 9,000 tests to about 10,000 tests, which is great. And we also saw a 1% decline in our percent positivity rate. So that is very good news for us. And another piece of good news is that we have immunized over 20,000 people in Marion County, 21,574 as of yesterday. And 1,690 of those are fully vaccinated. And to put things into a little bit of perspective, we have 16,394 cases since the beginning of the pandemic, which started back in March of 2020. And in just a matter of a few weeks, we've been able to immunize over 20,000 people in Marion County. So it's just such a huge accomplishment, and we should all be really proud of the hard work of our health department and especially our community partners who've really stepped up to the plate to get these immunizations out in an efficient and safe manner. So it's really encouraging. It helps. It's encouraging to all of our staff and gives us a little bit more energy to see us through to the end of this pandemic. The number of people that we're monitoring in the hospital has declined in the previous few weeks. So we've been in the 50s each time I've come here. This week we're monitoring 42 Marion County residents in the hospital with COVID. And then I always report on the Region 2 hospital capacity as well. Region 2 includes Marion, Polk, Yamhill, Lynn, Benton, and Lincoln. And there are 145 adult non-ICU beds available out of 787. And 34 adult ICU beds available out of 124. And these numbers are as of yesterday as well. During the week of January 10th, which is the most updated information that we have for how many doses of vaccine Oregon received, it was about 50,700 doses of Pfizer and 25,000 doses of Moderna vaccine. A majority of the Pfizer vaccine went to hospitals and some went to skilled nursing facilities. Just under 6,000 went to skilled nursing facilities. And then of the Moderna vaccine, 25,000 went to hospitals and local public health. Over the weekend, our health department and board's office was busy writing a letter to Oregon Health Authority attesting to being on the tail end of our phase 1A for the COVID-19 vaccine sequencing, and attested to the fact that we're ready to move on to phase 1B, starting with early learning, childcare, and K through 12 education employees. And we received that letter yesterday from Oregon Health Authority, and those early learning, childcare, and education folks had already started receiving vaccine yesterday as well. So we're really excited to get moving on getting our teachers back to school, getting our kids back to school, and I know I'm really looking forward to my kid going to school this fall. So, and then we'll start immunizing our senior community beginning January 25th and, or excuse me, February 8th, with seniors starting over the age of 80, followed by 75 and older, and then 70 and older, and then 65 and older, and kind of on a tiered approach through the beginning of March. As people are getting the full dose of the vaccine, it's really interesting to see what people's experiences are like, and we're asking folks who've had their vaccine to reach out to our PIOs and share why they got their vaccine, and just trying to create some social norms around getting the vaccine. They are safe and effective. They did go through some rigorous clinical trials and have been shown to be safe and effective. There are some side effects, pain at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, and chills. That's all pretty common. That's pretty common with just about any shot you'll get. And these are just the effects of your immune system kicking into gear. It's what you want your body to be doing, to be building those antibodies. So it's not a sign that the vaccine isn't safe. There are adverse reactions, and we do track those. So if you do have an adverse reaction, which might include an allergic reaction or really high fever, really call your doctor, because we do need to be tracking that. And we'll be continuing to share the latest vaccine information with our community through our website, social media channels, community partners. We're trying to share as much information that we have access to. It's been a little bit of a challenge getting data from Oregon Health Authority, from the data system that we currently have. So this may look like us calling our partners and asking them how many shots they gave, so that we can get a good picture of how many are getting out to various sectors of our community. So that's something that we're actively working on at the health department. We want to make sure that all of our folks are taken care of and get the vaccine when it's their turn. So that's all I have for today. Thank you.
That's a great report, Katrina. I did want to comment on it because you guys have been working really hard over the past year, more than the past year, and you don't always get to see progress. You know, there's a lot of weeks where our health department folks were working, and things were getting worse and worse and worse. And so I think this report in just the last week is sort of a testament to all that grinding that happened when nobody was watching and nothing was getting better. And now I would argue we're the leader in terms of vaccinating folks. We have the highest per capita rate of the large counties as far as vaccination. And, you know, there are smaller counties that may have a higher per capita rate, but they've distributed much fewer doses than we have. So I just think we're doing a great job, and our partners are doing a great job. Salem Health has really stepped in. Santiam Hospital has really stepped up. The community effort to get our kids back to school and to lobby the governor to allow us to start vaccinating teachers so that they feel comfortable getting back in the classrooms. I just think it's
it's been a really good week. And to see our numbers go down and to see our community get safer, this is a testament to all your hard work. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, I'll echo what Commissioner Willis said. I've only been here 2.5 weeks, and I think we've worked every single day since I've been here, specifically
That's
on
all you've been
COVID.
here?
Yeah, last week I said 8 days, but it felt like 80, so maybe it's still that. But over the weekend, watching the number of our community partners come together with your team to get that letter of attestation out was remarkable. Everybody is working so diligently from their desks, if you will, or our cell phones or whatever it is to try to get our community back to open. From my lens before, as a chamber director and dealing with the number of businesses who are just really in dire straits, I want them to know that we are working very, very hard to try to get this community lifted back up. And I love that you shared the number of people who were COVID positive versus the number of people who were vaccinated. It's really important to know that folks are working really hard, but also don't get pandemic fatigued and think that this is, we're out of the woods yet. We still need people to very much be doing the things they're supposed to do with proper hygiene and masking and all of those things, so we don't go backwards, because we very much want to go forward as fast as we can. So thank you. Thank you so much. And Ryan, thanks for all the updates over the weekend. You were Johnny on the spot.
Well, thank you very much, as always. Keep up the good work, and we did have 4 people go to the hospital yesterday, and we had 3 deaths, so we're not out of the woods. And we'll continue to do this and this, and I can't wait to have you say, okay, it's your time in line, and I'll get there like I get my flu shot. Set the example for everybody. So
I'm looking forward to that as well.
I am too. It's going to be a while. I'm not that old. I think they take the 81, my dad first, right? 80 and up is how they'll start after teachers, and we have to get our seniors vaccinated quickly. So. Thank you very much. Okay. Consent calendar, I believe. I think the vice chair went last week. Did you go last week?
I did, but I'll do it again today.
Oh, we'll let the second. We'll let the second vice chair do the consent calendar today, please.
Mr. Chair, I move the consent calendar. An agenda on it. In it is under Board of Commissioners, OLCC applications, recommend approval of an order of BBK Incorporated DBA Taste of Hawaii in Almsville, Oregon. Approve an order authorizing the application for a United States Department of Treasury Emergency Rental Assistance Program grant and delegating authority to Jan Fritz, the Marion County Chief Administrative Officer, to sign the grant application. And under the tax office, approve an order for a property tax refund in the amount of $64,863.44 to Reese's Fine Foods.
I second the motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Under our first action item, only 2 today, right? And they're both under Health and Human Services. You're real popular, Ryan. Okay, under Health and Human Services, consider approval of amendment number 18 to incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Health Authority to add $83,846.80 for a new contract total of $9,516,989.55 for basic health services and programs provided by Marion County through June 30th, 2021.
All right. Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, Ryan Matthews. I'm the Administrator for Marion County Health and Human Services. And I am seeking approval of Amendment 18 of our incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Health Authority for our public health services. And this agreement adds $83,846.80 through June 30th, 2021. The primary funding source that was added to this agreement is $63,723 in CARES flu funds. So I think we just heard a presentation from Katrina, and certainly thank you for the kind words for our team and the support of all the work that's been happening. Part of the resources that we put towards that effort are these CARES flu funds, which were initially awarded in, I believe, Amendment 16, and now we're getting additional funding in Amendment 18. These funds are not only available to support the initial flu season and the efforts that we made to make sure that people got their flu shot. So some of the initial funding was used for flu clinics with our farm worker housing population, to hire a temp employee to help coordinate flu efforts and help to prepare for COVID-19 vaccine coordination. Now these funds will be continuing to be ongoing support for the effort to make sure that we have enough sufficient resources to perform our role in the public health system, to make sure that we are helping to coordinate the administration of the COVID vaccine throughout our community and work with our healthcare partners and make sure we're building capacity as the vaccine supply grows. We want to make sure that we can expand the capacity to make sure we get people access to that critical vaccine. In addition to that $63,000, there's $10,000 of additional funds for our WIC program. And just to kind of let everybody know, in case people sort of lose track of some of the other core public health services that we're doing despite the pandemic, our WIC services have been maintained throughout the pandemic. They've gone through a telehealth model, so they work remotely, but we still need to make sure now more than ever that families have access to the food vouchers, to the supports, and to the nutritional supports that they need to make sure that they are able to take care of their families. We also are receiving in this amendment $10,124 of emergency preparedness funding, and that is to help with our emergency response efforts for the COVID-19 pandemic. Our emergency preparedness program really set the foundation for the work that we've been doing throughout this entire pandemic, ever since the emergency was declared. We use those funds initially to make sure that people in our department are trained in what incident command structure means and how to operate, and I think that we've really seen why as an organization it's worth making investments in that, because that structure really enables you to respond to the needs of your community during an emergency and be able to expand and contract as you need to do so to meet that need. In addition, there's a couple just sort of housekeeping items in the contract. So there's some dates added to the CARES Act funding just to say when it would expire. This also speaks to how long these contracts take, in that these dates were added before the federal government extended the CARES Act funding through the end of 12/31/21. So we have since received notice from Oregon Health Authority to ask if we want to amend this amendment to extend that a year now that the funds are eligible for an extension, and we have responded in the affirmative that we do. So I'm anticipating in Amendment 19 we'll see edits to this language to now extend it in line with what the federal government has done with CARES Act funding. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about the agreement.
Questions? Nope. Get it done.
Great. All right.
Hearing no questions, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the amendment number 18 to the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Housing Authority.
Oregon Health Authority.
Sorry, Oregon Health Authority.
I'll second the motion.
Thanks.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, and Sydney, welcome. I haven't seen you in a little while. So, item number 2 under Health Department is consider approval of a contract for services with Dr. K. Lynn Dieter, MD, in the amount of $308,880 to provide medical assessment and supervision for individuals receiving adult mental health services through January 31st, 2022. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Sydney Nestor, Behavioral Health Division Director, here this morning asking for approval for a new contract with one of our prescribers, Dr. K. Dieter. She's been a prescriber with our adult behavioral health program, for about 10 years, I'd say. She provides psychiatric services, again, specifically in our adult behavioral health program. Any questions that you might have related to that contract?
Any questions? Good. Pretty straightforward extension. Okay. Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the contract for services with Dr. K. Lynn Dieter in the amount of $308,880 to provide medical assessment and supervision for individuals receiving adult mental health services through January 31st, 2022.
I second the motion.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. And motion passes. Then Sydney, I just saw I think I saw on Facebook, but I also saw an email this morning that there is a support group that is, I think, over 4 sessions for wildfire victims in the canyon. Are we involved with that
Yes.
support?
Yes, we are, we have it started through the MAST team. That was kind of the impetus. We have a few behavioral health staff who are participating in that every week. And so, yes, we have behavioral health clinicians who are leading those support groups.
Okay, and I think it was somebody from Detroit that actually put it up, but I was just curious if it was different than what we're doing, so.
No, it's an additional thing. They've just started offering the support group format, so excited
Good.
to see how it goes.
Probably good timing. There's a lot of, I think Commissioner, you mentioned it yesterday, there's a lot of people up there that have, kind of gone through the shock, and
Yes.
now they're waiting, and they're just like, okay, how do I move forward, and trying to help people. And I had to get some help myself personally from what I experienced, but trying to understand what you can control and what you can't control is really, really important to have that group with us. So thank you for what you're
Yes,
doing for those
absolutely.
people up there. Really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Okay, so we have a calendar in front of us.
The second vice chair's turn, Mr.
I think it might be second vice chair's turn. I did read it last week.
I appreciate
so
that.
here's, it's just so Danielle knows this, that when I got here, the chair was always reading the calendar, right? And I thought, well, when I become chair, I'm gonna make somebody else do it. And so I didn't read the calendar, and then
He made the second vice chair read it every time.
Commissioner Willis becomes chair, and he kind of passed it around. So I'm learning from my young leader here to pass it around a little bit.
Well, I appreciate it. It's
would
his
you
turn.
please
How
have-
long it is today.
Please have the honor.
I will.
Okay.
Today is Wednesday, January 20th. It is 9:22, and we just completed our board session in the Senator Hearing Room here in the first floor of 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. At 11 o'clock today, we have a Board of Commissioners policy meeting located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. Again, that's 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. And then at 3 o'clock this afternoon, we have a Canyon Fire Recovery Program discussion, again located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then at 4 o'clock, we have a FEMA briefing for local officials, and that is a virtual meeting. Tomorrow, Thursday, January 21st at 9 o'clock, we have a work session on the proposed new health building located in the Commissioners Boardroom. That's the 5th floor of this building. Thursday, tomorrow at 1:30, that's January 21st, we have a work session for an ADA transition plan and ADA procedure 304-C located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. On Friday, January 22nd, we have, at 11 o'clock, we have an Oregon Health Authority Commissioners Coronavirus Weekly Call, and that's a virtual call. Again, on Friday, January 22nd at 2 in the afternoon, we have a Wildfire Housing Recovery Meeting. That's located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Monday, January 25th at 8:30 in the morning, we have calendar review located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Monday, January 25th at 9 in the morning, we have management update, again located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Monday, January 25th at 11 in the morning, we have a BOC CAO meeting with an executive session if needed, pursuant to ORS 192.6602 A, B, D, E, F, H, and I, located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Monday, January 25th at 1:30 in the afternoon, we have a juvenile department tour located at 2960 Center Street, Northeast in Salem. And I am crashing that. That's actually for Commissioner Bethel, but I just like our juvenile department
Happy
so
to
much
have you
that I
on.
want to go again and see the good work they're doing out
They
there.
do great work.
And then Tuesday, January 26th at 9 in the morning, we have a work session regarding the Marion County land use process located in the Commissioners Boardroom. That's the 5th floor of this building. And then Tuesday, January 26th at 2 in the afternoon, we have a Health and Human Services Policy Group meeting located in the Commissioners Boardroom on the 5th floor of this building. And then on Wednesday, January 27th at 9 in the morning, we have board session located in this room, the Senator Hearing Room, which is on the first floor of this building. And again, that's 555 Court Street Northeast in Salem. And then Wednesday, January 27th at 11 in the morning, we have a Board of Commissioners policy meeting again located in the Commissioners Boardroom. That's the 5th floor of this building. And then on Wednesday, January 27th at noon, we have a SEDCOR Executive Council meeting, and that is virtual. And then on Wednesday, January 27th at 4 in the afternoon, we have a FEMA briefing for local officials, and that is virtual. Wow, that's quite a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
We had a short agenda today, so I guess that makes up
Makes
for
up
it.
for it. Yeah, we took as long to read the calendar as it did to do our work. But, you know, when I think before I even got here, I remember a meeting with Commissioner Brentano outside, and he was describing our workload, and he always said, after the budget, it's just a cruise.
Which was a lie. I mean, I like the guy, he's an honest guy,
Oh,
but
my
that just is not true.
So, and now it's this time of year, all the things we're doing, it just, and now budgets are being cranked up. As we saw yesterday, we looked at, you know, our group's budget. And so just look at this calendar and I'm going, ooh, wow, here we go.
Here we go.
Do you want to share anything? Any new news since last week?
I don't know if it's any new news, but I had shared with you guys yesterday that I went up to Detroit, spent most of the day up the canyon on Monday, in fact. And I just would like to share with the community that Detroit as a whole is an active construction zone. And they're moving as quickly as they can, the contractors up there. And it would be really, really excellent if those that were curious to see the wildfire damage were very cautious when they do enter into the community, and or if they see equipment on the road, to not go down those directions. But it's not entirely safe. I watched a pickup truck actually turn a very narrow corner down Cluster behind a tree faller and his equipment. I don't know what the piece of equipment is, but it could have been a very bad situation if the tree decided to, you know, accept a gust of wind and go the opposite direction. And they're doing everything they can to move things along. And so I just want to make sure that we're allowing those contractors and homeowners the space and safety that they deserve to get these projects done so they can return home, and that community can return to its former state if possible. I gasped when I watched the truck drive by, because the tree, I mean, it went down. Those trees are giant. And so just be very cautious if you're curious and want to enter into those spaces up there. And also, don't go on people's private property, because that's just rude.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Speaking of tree removal, we got an email, I think it was yesterday, from Brian, or maybe it was today, yesterday, on tree removal and ODOT's contracts. And they're already, the tree removal for ODOT is, contractors are already working up there. I just, like you, I want to make sure there's communication between the property owners and these people that are doing the work. And he just emailed back and said so far that they are doing that. They have the database. They are reaching out to people for tree removal, because we've heard so much about people's trees being cut. I had one on my property which needed to go down. It was charred and it was taped off as a hazard tree, and I came back one day and it was down. I don't know who cut it down. Big tree. We can post some of this information out there that people are going to be contacted by the tree removal contractors. They're starting at higher elevations, and if snow pushes them down, they'll come down faster, but they're going to work their way down on the tree. And they have 25 arborists marking trees up there right now in different places. So that's good news. They still don't have much going on with the debris removal as far as the contractors and communication and what their schedule is. So really appreciate Brian and his crew kind of staying on this and trying to get information from ODOT and the contractors. So patience, patience, patience.
Yeah, they're up there every day. They were up there Saturday, Sunday, and then of course Monday, which was a holiday for, you know, government and banks and so forth. And it was quite busy. Just very active.
You were up there Monday, right?
I was up there Monday. And then also just, this reminder just popped into my head thinking about the fact that we have all these the arborists up there, tree companies. As you pass out of gates, on both sides of the road, there are giant piles of logs stacked up, which are very dangerous. And I noticed that folks weren't really complying with the 40 mile per hour rule. I got passed by a handful of vehicles, and I thought, just, you need to slow down. It's not very far.
But is that when you wish you had a little light you could put on your truck?
Well,
Say, hey, Joe, deputize
it
me.
turns out that the
sheriff
sheriff is
resents
really
that.
up there. I talked to 2 deputies, and when I came down the mountain, there was somebody pulled over, and then I got a little further, and there was somebody else pulled over. So they are citing people for not complying with that 40 mile an hour rule, and they're adding more signs to help encourage people to follow that. And it's just so necessary. I was a bit intimidated by some of the piles of logs as I kind of drove through them, because if one of the bottom ones breaks free, there's going to be logs rolling into the roadway as it leans towards the mountain, and that's dangerous. So.
Well, we're gonna have that canyon fire recovery discussion this afternoon, so we'll be able to share some of those things. I know the water system in Detroit's a ways away. We're still working on our Business Oregon grant to try to get our recovery person in place. So there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. And then the legislature has a whole committee, Representative Clem, that's going to be chairing the Fire Recovery Committee, and our new elected representative from that area. You're representative. Well, she's mine too.
Jamie Kate.
Yeah, Jamie Kate, because I'm a resident of Detroit, even though I'm living down here right now. She's on that committee, and she's also on Ag and Natural Resources. So
those are perfect fits.
We'll have good representation.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to set up a meeting with her next week to talk with her and just bring her up to date on some of the issues that are important to us.
I giggle because yesterday on her Facebook page, she posted that her staffer was hazing her because she booked her for 18 meetings back to back, and because there were, the session had more or less been canceled, and I just think, well, bring your tennis shoes.
Yeah. She can look at. I don't have any empathy. You can look at our calendar. We got tennis shoes on all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
It's funny, Danielle, or Commissioner Bethel, I was laughing because I was having a conversation with a friend recently about the riots we saw this last couple weeks and then over the summer, and he said, it's almost like you have to remind people, if it's not yours, don't touch it. and as you're talking about, like don't speed, don't go into dangerous places, don't go on other people's property, don't take things that aren't yours. It's sort of like we almost need like a class on common sense again. So.
Oh yeah, I don't want to go into it too far, but I watched that Tom Hanks movie on Apple TV. What's the name of that? It's the what's the name of the? It's about the ship escorting these guys across World War II.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but it's on my list.
And it was one of those movies, it's really intense. But I was thinking, if our youth just saw all the things and understood the things that allow us to be here today doing this, and the sacrifices that were made, and the fear that people faced to do those things and overcame that. We just have, like, it's part of why we're in this situation that we're in, because we forgot that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And there's been ultimate sacrifices made to be able to be here. Well, if there's nothing else,
Let's get to the rest of it.
let's go. Brenda, thank you. Legal counsel, you know what? You better not talk so much next time.
I will.
Okay. We're adjourned.
So glad you're here.